Thank you. So, okay, so we're by the Mishna. Beis, right? Is that from you? Yeah. So Af Hanashim. Can you give me a drink, please? Drink. Af Hanashim she'einen amonos. No, so just Hakdama. We know from in Yavamas that there's 5 women that are not believed to say that that the husband died, because they're competitive with these particular women, right? So here we're saying even the women that are not believed to say that the husband died, they're manas lahavi as gita. They're believed to bring the get, meaning they're not believed to say that their husband died, right? We're not believed to say that they're not believed to say that the husband died, but they are believed to say that he divorced his wife, which is interesting because you think the two would be the same. Now, who are the 5? Chamaisa, her mother-in-law. Bas Chamaisa, the daughter of her mother-in-law.
Why would I think they're the same?
Aren't they both causing the woman that they don't like to be divorced or whatever, not be married?
Right, no, but one of them, they know the truth. The woman is going to know she's divorced. She's not going to know if her husband's dead or not.
No, but she's backing it up. She's saying to the lady, by the way, you're divorced. Don't baloney, you're divorced. No, that's what she's saying. Out of the blue, this lady comes and says, here's your get. So, yeah. That's what, okay, we'll see in the Gemara. Anyways, so Mitzarasa v'Yevimta and her which is her sister-in-law, Ubas Baila, and the daughter of her husband. Okay, fine. So those are all the 5. Mape get lemisa. What's the difference between get and misa? Well, I mean, why are they not believed about the death, but they are believed about the get? Sheksav meichiach. The reason is because the proof is in the writing, which we'll see in the Gemara. Right? So one day has actual written proof. Fine. Then this one we had already quoted. A woman herself can bring her own get from Medina Siyam, meaning the husband can make his wife be the shliach. As long, but she has to be able to say meaning so a wife could be her own shliach to bring her own get, but she has to say just like anybody else. Okay. But Tanya, the Gemara says, we have a beis that says different than our Mishna. Our Mishna says that they are believed about the daughter, the get, and the beis says they're not believed about the get. So Yosef, like Kasha, kan b'chutz la'aretz. One is talking about a get within Eretz Yisrael, and one is talking about a get within chutz la'aretz. Be'eretz, the lav adibur didaka something in Eretz Yisrael, they're not relying on her, right? Because you don't have to say b'fanei nefta. So Mamela, we're not really relying on this woman. So therefore she's believed. But when you bring a get from chutz la'aretz to Eretz Yisrael, that you have to say that the so that means we're relying on this lady. So then we can't then we can't rely on her because we know she has a natural anger towards the mother-in-law or whatever it is. I actually had a Maisa today. You won't even believe it. Maybe you will believe it. I don't know. A lady has a mother-in-law who did a reform scam gerus. So she's really she's a guy. And she's by her daughter-in-law. And she wants to cook and she wants to do all this stuff. And the daughter-in-law is she's going crazy. Like the mother-in-law made her eggs. Now it's Bishalakum.
I'm assuming her son did a kosher gerus.
She what?
I'm assuming her son did a kosher gerus.
Her son did a kosher get. It's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So the father's Jewish. Yeah, I'm just saying the father's Jewish. So, anyways, so
is mine.
there you go. So anyway, so she's all stressed out, and I said to her, by the way, some of your stress is because a mother-in-law and a daughter-in-law have a natural hatred. It's not just based on halacha. She says, really? Maybe you think? Oh, maybe. She said, maybe that's why. You mean I'm normal? I said, you're normal. I said, you can learn Daf Yomi. It's today's Daf, or actually it was yesterday's Daf, but for me it was today. That was gewalt. It was mamish. It made her feel so much calmer that she's so out of whack that her mother-in-law's in her kitchen. Anyway, so yeah, I'm glad I remembered that. So it's pretty funny. Anyways, weiter. So Rabbi Yosef is saying that there's a difference between a woman being believed.
And you're saying this in your son-in-law's house.
That is true. That is true. He walked out of the room.
We
Zevi,
love him
the
anyway.
facts-
We love him anyway. We love him
Zevi,
anyway.
the
No, but
facts are
that's-
the facts, Zevi. The facts are the facts. You can't change them.
No,
That's
but that's
not
not the problem here. It's my wife with her daughter. There's no mother-in-law, daughter-in-law here.
No.
Except no, my machatenist is here. So for my daughter with her, but then she's not here now, so I can say it. Yeah. Anyways, so Rabbi Yosef says one is Eretz and one is Chutz La'aretz. That she's not believed because the whole thing is totally on her saying with another. But within Eretz Yisrael, you don't have to say with another. So the get's going to be a get really regardless, sort of like what Perek was saying, regardless of what this lady says. Abaya says the opposite. Amalei Abaya Adarabah. If chemistaver, the svara is totally the opposite. Be'eretz, in Eretz Yisrael, the iyasi bal ma'arer. In Eretz Yisrael, let's say the husband comes and says that get is not a legitimate get. Mashkechina bay, we listen to him, right? Because in Eretz Yisrael, you don't say before enough. So whoever approved of the get. So so then it's since she knows that she could get away with it in Eretz Yisrael, so Laimahemna, therefore she's not believed. But Chutz La'aretz, but you bring a get from Chutz La'aretz, and the shliach, who in this case is one of these five ladies, said we don't listen to the husband because it's already a get that was proven to be legitimate. So then Mahemna, then she is going to be believed. Right? So Abaya is mamish saying the exact opposite of Rav Yosef. Tanya Kav say the Abaya, we learn like Brisa like Abaya. Rav Shimon Elazar, Rav Shimon Rebbe Kiva, Isha Nemenes Lavi Gittin Mikava Chaymer. A woman is believed to bring her own get from a Kava Chaymer. Right? Uman Nashim Shamar Chachamim Einemanas Laimer Meis Baila. Women, the five women, who the Chachamim said are not believed to say that the husband died, not their husband, but these five men's husband, these five women's husbands. But Nemanos Lavi Gita, they're believed to bring a get. He Shenamenas Lamer Meis Baila. So she, a regular woman, who, if she says Eidos that her own husband died, she's believed, wouldn't it be a kavachomer that she's believed to bring her own get on Tamar Aleph now? And from the place that you're coming from with this kavachomer, you could say further. Just like over there, the woman has to say, meaning by the five women, they're going to have to say, so too, a wife bringing her own get also has to say, and therefore you see very clear that this brisa is only believing the five women when they actually say which is like Abaya, right? Rabbi Yosef had said no, it's when they say it doesn't work. So this brisa is like Abaya. Gemara says another brisa like Abaya. I'm a Mishna like Abaya. Amar Rav Ashi b'tzisa nami deika. Dikatani ha'isha atzmi mavia gita. A woman brings her own get, but she has to say so you see that when do we believe a woman about that a person is divorced is when they say okay, but Rav Yosef so according to Rav Yosef, it comes out that the previous Mishna right? The Mishnah before this one, right? That who's the shliach? Remember, we said there that it's talking about a blind person who's bringing it from chutz la'aretz. Like this, he had to save it, and he couldn't do it. And then the seifa is also chutz la'aretz, right? Because we said that the woman who brings her own get has to say fananachtam. And then the middle case, which is the first case of the Mishnah we just read about the 5 women, is talking about Dafkin Eretz Yisrael, right? That's the way Rabbi Yosef is learning it. Again, the last Mishnah and the second case in our Mishnah is talking about from Chutz La'aretz. And the middle case, which is the first case of our Mishnah, of the 5 ladies who hate each other, Mitziyasa is Ba'aretz. Gemara says, yeah, in Reisha B'Seiva Chutzot Mitziyasa Ba'aretz. As strange as that setup would be, that the first and last cases are talking about bringing a get from Chutz La'aretz, and the middle case is talking about in Eretz Yisrael. It's strange, but that's what it is. Mimai, right? How do you know that the middle case is dafka in Eretz Yisrael? What does the Mishnah mean when it says, what's the difference between get and misa? That the writing proves it. According to the way Abaya is saying it, it should say that the reason why the get works is because it's the writing, meaning the get, and the mouth of a fananachtam is meichiach, proves it. It doesn't say anything about peh. So if it doesn't say anything about peh, it must be talking about dafka in Eretz Yisrael. Fine, so that's the machlokes. Then the Gemara says, so the last case in the Mishnah was if a woman brings her own get, she's believed, means she's the shliach, she's her own shliach, right? So, but as long as she says fananachtam, so then that's it. So the Gemara says, Isha michimati.
She's her own shliach, or the husband's shliach.
Oh, that's well. You're right. Right now, we have to see. We're going to see in the Mishnah. We're going to see in the Gemara that there's going to make differences. Yeah. So Isha michimati gitul yada yigarshala. What happened here? The husband wrote a get in Chutz La'aretz, gave it to the wife to bring to Eretz Yisrael to get divorced in Eretz Yisrael. Why isn't it a get, right? When he gives it to her in Chutz La'aretz, right? Isha mechimati gitul yada yigarshala. She's divorced. No, he didn't. He told her, you're not divorced. He gave her the get in Chutz La'aretz and said, you are not divorced till you get in front of this particular beis din in Eretz Yisrael. So when she gets to the beis din, then she's automatically divorced. So then what's a pshat? He told her that when you get there to Eretz Yisrael, to the beis din, put down the get on the floor, then pick it up, then it becomes yours. So Gemara asks, that's like telling a lady to pick up her get from the ground. He said nothing, meaning the get has to be handed to her. He can't just throw the get on the floor and make his wife pick it up. So isn't that what was going on here too? So we don't have a pshat. You should be a shliach for taking the get adamatis hasam until you get to the beis din Eretz Yisrael. And when you get there, then you'll become the shliach to be makabel the get, and you're going to be makabel your own get. And she meaning, so basically, she's going to be a shliach for both. She's going to be a shliach for her husband. She's going to be a shliach for herself, right? So that's the way he said it to her. So the Gemara says it can't be. So there's a din about shlichus that it has to be able to. Any shliach has to be able to go back to the person that sent them, right, and to be able to say, I did the shlichus, right? Meaning, but here he made her into a shliach for herself, right? Meaning, initially she was his shliach, then he's making her a shliach for herself. So what does that have to do with him? So Gemara says, you're a shliach for taking the get until you get there. Then when you get there, you are going to you're going to get somebody else to be your shliach, to be makabel to you. Right? So basically, he's telling her, again, the Havamina, we thought she's doing both shlichas. She's doing the shlichas for her husband, and then she's going to do the shlichas for herself. That's not what's going on here. She's going to be the shliach for her husband. Then she's going to be the shliach. She's going to have to hire a shliach to be her shliach. All right? Okay. So that works according to the mandama that says that a woman can make a shliach to be makabel or get. Miyad shliach paila. I'm sorry.
You have to have,
what?
it's the potential to go give tell that the shlichus was good. You don't have to.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Right.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. It's a potential to be able to. Yeah. So then, when it says that's all good if we say that a woman can make a shliach to go get her get from a shliach from her husband. But the one that says that a woman cannot make a shliach to get the get from the shliach of her husband, what are you going to say then? Because you can't do that case, because she can't make a shliach to get her get from a shliach, even though she's the shliach. Right? So my answer is time of mine, the bow, which I don't get exactly, I can't understand exactly what the bizayin is, but it's a bizayin of the bow. Why can't she send a shliach to get from her shliach? It's because it's a bizayin to the bow. Meaning that she doesn't want to come get it herself. She doesn't want to come get it herself. Therefore, it's a bizayin.
It's a bizayin that the person's that the baal doesn't the baal has to. Well,
I know, but the baal's sending his own shliach too.
Who's he sending?
We're talking about where the baal has a shliach.
What's the case? That what?
We're saying that a man who's sending a get to a woman with a shliach can't go she can't go send a shliach to get the get from her husband's shliach. Why? Because it's a chutzpah.
He could send the shliach, but
Maybe the case is the Rav Moshe is the husband shliach, and Bernie Madoff is her shliach, so it's a bizayin. Otherwise, what's
I don't know. I had a hard time understanding it. I'm still having a hard time understanding it. Meaning, but what happens from the Baal himself? Meaning, if let's say the Baal hands it to her shliach, that's not a problem. Because the Baal, you see clearly, if the Baal handed it to the shliach, that means he doesn't care. He has no stolz. Meaning, this is only an issue where the Baal gave the get to the shliach, and the woman sends her shliach to get it from the Baal shliach. So Mamela, we're afraid that the Baal was not nicha for her to have a shliach. So Mamela, because it's a bizayin to him. Why? I don't know, but maybe he wasn't nicha for that.
To the point that he would withdraw the get on that account?
That's what the Gemara is saying. Yeah, I don't
Meaning
understand.
I want to get divorced from you, but if you're not going to show up, so I'm not going to divorce you.
No.
Now we're going to stay.
Now
we're going to stay together.
No, but only if he sends it with the shliach. If he's
I understand,
himself,
but I'm saying so now it's such a disrespect to him that now I'm not going to. I withdraw it, and now I'm not, and now I want to stay with you.
Yes. No, I don't know if he wants to stay with her. I'm not so sure. It could be he just doesn't want her to be divorced, so she becomes an aguna.
Oh, maybe.
That's what I'm thinking, right? Okay, I don't know this, and we're busy with the whole Masechta trying to do less igun, and here we say that he could send the shliach, she can't send the shliach, and it's going to offend the husband, and therefore she's not divorced. Okay, I don't know. Fine. And here, obviously, the Baal is not makbid because he made his wife into a shliach, and he told her to get a shliach. So therefore, if he says get a shliach, then clearly he's not makbid. Fine. Okay, that works according to the Mandam. It says that it's the bezayin of the Baal. That's why the woman can't make a shliach to get it from the husband's shliach. But if it's because the reason why is because it's going to come into a chatzar later, right? Meaning Remember, we had that case where the husband drops the get into the chutzner of his friend, and then he says that the chutzner becomes his wife's. So we said that doesn't work. So if you're going to allow a shliach to do this, then it's going to also be a problem. So ma'ikal meima. So according to that sheet, what are you going to say? What answers the Amar Allah? Havi shliach lo ilacha ad matis hasam. You're going to be a shliach to take the get until you reach the beis din in Eretz Yisrael. The chimatis also, when you get to there, shavi shliach lo ilacha. Then you become you're going to make a second shliach to bring it. The kablias gitech minay, and go be makabel your get from him, right? Meaning, say here, she didn't make a shliach to be makabel the get. She made a shliach to bring the get, and then she's going to take it from that guy. All right. So therefore, I mean, this is all a complicated way of doing a get, but yeah. But with all the haggling, that's what's going to be. Right, again, the
Why
husband's
can't he
making her the
just give her a
shliach to bring
get
it.
if they're doing from beis? Just give her the get.
I thought about that. I was wondering, why not just give her the get? You know those guys from Eretz Yisrael, they say, oh yeah, I got a good beis din in Eretz Yisrael. I'm tight with them. I got pulled. He wants to use his beis din in Eretz Yisrael. That's the only thing I could think. It's a shvacha teretz. The kash a lot better than the teretz. Anyways, Viva is saying, or another teretz. You're going to be the shliach to bring it there until you get Eretz Yisrael to the beis din. Amar, Kamei Beidina, go in front of the beis din and say, B'fanei nechta, Umashvi Beidina shliach, and then you make the beis din into a shliach, and then they're going to give you the get through, I guess, whichever regular shliach they have in the beis din. Right? Which is basically the same teretz as previous. It's just a matter of who you're making that final shliach, the beis din or somebody else. Okay, whichever. Fine. Hadron Allah Hamevi get. I know for those that have not made l'chaims yet, then now we can make a l'chaim.
L'chaim.
I need another minute. Yeah, go ahead and hop this one.
Oh, we surprised you on this, Perek?
Yeah, surprised to see him.
I hear you. Okay.
Is this a chiddush mishum iguna hikilu?
Get Gershon to the rescue. He's going to stall to see him, Perek.
No, you just made it, didn't you? I'm allowing him to make the longest.
I just can't believe Perek is a minute away from a shot.
Yeah.
He's usually like only 5 seconds away.
Go ahead, Gershon. L'chaim.
Is this a chiddush by? Is this a chiddush b'dafka by get that a shliach can make another shliach? What koyach does she have to make a shliach lahilacha for the husband? She's making the beis din a shliach lahilacha.
He's telling her to make the shliach lahilacha, no?
Yeah, but it's not really lav kol kamina.
I don't know. I don't know. You need to be a real lamdan for this Gemara with all the shlichus that are flying here. No?
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, fine. Weiter. Next Perek. Kol get shenechtav shelo l'shum isha pasal. Right. So this we had many times. Any get that's not written for the name of the woman, meaning specifically for that woman, is pasal. Ketzad. Now there's going to be a bunch of cases in this Mishna. If he was passing in the shuk and he heard the name, the Seifrim calling out names. Ish Pliny Megarish is Plynus, Mimukam Pliny. And it fit exactly his situation. But he's not allowed to use it as a get. Right? Yes, and Mikain. So okay, that's one case. The first case is that he's walking past the beis din and he hears the names that fit to his situation. So therefore, he decides, hey, might as well get divorced. Fine. Yes, and McCain, more than that, a bigger chiddush. He decided to write a get to his wife, and he changed his mind. Matzu ben Iroi. So he found the guy in the city. He decided, okay, I got to try and flip the get to somebody, make some money, or make some money of his back. So Matzu ben Iroi ba'amar. He finds a guy from the city. He says, we all have the same names. Why don't you just take my get? So pasal l'garish by it is pasal to use that get. That's case number 2. Case number 3. Yes, and Mikain. On to Amud beis now. There were 2 women. Ushmaseyan Shavas. They had, meaning he had 2 wives. I'm sorry, he had 2 wives. They had the same name. Kosev Lagarish Es Ha Gedoyla, and he wrote a get to divorce the older wife, which Rashi says is Lav Dafka. Lo Yugarish Bayas. He can't use that get to divorce the younger wife or the smaller wife, however you want to understand it. Meaning he has 2 wives, the same name. He decides to write a get for one, then he needs to change his mind. It doesn't work. Yes, and Mikain, the 4th case, the biggest chiddush. Amar lelavler, he says to a cipher, a lavler is a cipher. Kosev le'eza she'ertza garish. Write me a star, and then whichever wife I'm going to use, whichever wife I decide. Meaning he says, I want to have this get in my pocket. Just give me the name. I'll decide later which wife this is written for. Postal legarish, but you can't use that either. Right? So, meaning the reason why that's the bigger chiddush, is because this get was written lishma, right? Retroactively, meaning limafreya, which we're going to say with brera, right? Retroactively, it comes out that the get was written for the proper wife. Just right now, he doesn't know which one it's going to be, and still it's possible. Right? So that's basically the four cases. So the Gemara, we have to make sure. Let's just chazar over because we need to know the 4 cases. The first case is where he randomly hears a cipher saying the names. The second case is where he actually does write the get lishma, but then he backs out, so he wants to give it to somebody else. Third case is that he had 2 wives with the same name, and he decides that he was going to give a get to one, and then he changes his mind and he wants to give it to the other one. And the 4th case is that he just says, write it for one of my wives, and I'll decide later which one I'm going to do it for. Fine. So those are the 4 cases. So Kosev Lagarish Ish, the Gemara says Kosev Lagarish Ish Nimba. He wrote to divorce his wife and he changed his mind. Ve'ela Reisha b'mai. So now what was the Reisha talking about? Right? It seems to be repetitive. So the Reisha is talking about where Seifrim are learning how to write Gittin. So meaning that get in the Reisha, the simplest case, is that the get was not even written l'shem a get. It was written for practice. Right? They happen to have said the names, and he's walking around, he hears them. So Memela, that is more pashut, that it's not a good get. It wasn't even written legitimately as a get. Right? It says Seifrim are reading. And it doesn't say that they're actually reading to themselves, meaning they're reading it out loud. Right? So Shema Mina, that's what we hear from this, that they're actually they're being taught. Right? Yeah. So I'm sitting on the plane yesterday, and there were so many stewardesses. They were training in stewardesses. I never saw them. I'm trying to learn this Gemara, and they're like, there's like 5 stewardesses. I was sitting up top, like they're training the stewardesses in, and they hear mamish makrim upon them. I hear them testing them. Where does this go? Where does that go? Okay, sure. So
maybe with the big merger, you're gonna get service now on Spirit.
Maybe they can't. Whatever, that merger ain't happening. But they. What are you saying?
I think they're called flight attendants now. That they're no longer. They got rid of stewards and stewardesses. They became flight attendants. Am I correct?
True. Yes.
Yes, you're great. Yes. You could
what are you saying, David?
You could take the passenger test.
So if it was a regular case of them overhearing, it still wouldn't be good. So what does this help? How does this clear up the situation?
What do you mean?
Meaning, what would I have thought in the Mishnah? Why did the Mishnah add this case?
This is the first case.
Okay, so the first case is what?
The first case is that he was walking by a cipher school, I guess.
Okay.
Right? And he heard them saying, and he says, "Hey, you know what? Let me get myself a cheap get. They're doing for practice. I'm sure I can get a cheap deal on it. Let me take it and divorce my wife with it."
So I would have thought that that's okay had the Mishnah not said it.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. You mean what's the chiddush? It's so pashut it should be us. You're saying?
Yes. Yeah, it's so pashut. Why would I think that this would ever be good? overhearing somebody saying names, and that would be good for my get.
David, this
I
is
hear
the
you.
riot for those advertisements you see on the highway, divorce for $2.99.
Right, that's true, Takara.
This is the
That's
riot
and then
for
you can
that.
go to the next poll. In the next poll, you could buy a house for cheap. Right?
Well,
Right.
I don't understand. David, if I have the get and has all the information and it's all correct, so then maybe it's good. Maybe it's good.
Meaning it doesn't need to be Lishma.
I don't. Well, maybe when I give the get, it's lishma.
So it doesn't, you're saying, so it doesn't have to be
No,
written
giving
Lishma.
doesn't need to be
That's the
lishma.
Havamina.
Only the writing needs to be lishma.
Well, that's what I'm
That's a
saying.
pasuk.
So,
The
meaning
concept
once
law
you
is a
tell me
pasuk.
writing has to be Lishma, why would I think
What
that this
is-
would be good?
I think the shaila is, what does lishma mean? Lishma simply means for her name, in her name. If it means in her name, then this is good.
Okay.
That's the Havamina.
Well, that's where we're going to go now. Now we're going to discuss. We're going to discuss what the chiddush is of all the cases, right? What time does Elam have to go? What time is it? 6:09?
6:10.
I'm saying, what time is the minyanim?
6:35.
8:23 or
Oh, okay. So we have
8:25.
a few minutes. Okay, so we have a few minutes. Okay.
Oh,
So my
8:15.
yes, 8:15. Right on. You know, David, you tempted me. What I really want to do is go to Shul, daven mincha early, and then just drive home and daven my Rabbi Yechidus after the Suda, after the Shalom Zof. That's really what I am tempted, very stark to do, but I just don't know how dripping with gaiva it is to do that. Anyway,
I made a
What day?
shows.
Your son-in-law's making early Shabbos?
yes.
This is like the
Then I
first
was
time
thinking
it
I'll get
happened.
up middle
You have to
Shalom
log
Zocher.
on time to hear such a thing, okay? If you don't log on time, you can't hear.
I logged in at
Then I was thinking
5:32.
I'll make a Baruch Hu in middle of the Shalom Zocher, and really embarrassing. Anyway, okay. What's the problem about? What's the
I'm
problem?
not going to say anything.
I'm making
not gonna
early
say
Shabbos.
anything.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
I'm not saying anything.
All right. My Yetzer Mikain. What does it mean that Yetzer Mikain is a bigger chiddush? So the first case, like David was saying, it wasn't even written l'shem gerushin. Puzzle. Even the second case, which was written as a get, he just changed his mind, decided not to get divorced. That's still puzzle. And not in this, not only in this case, that it's not written for his own divorce. Even a get was written, right? Case number 3, which was written for his own divorce, right? He just decided to change it from one wife to the other because both wives had the same name. That's also possible. Right? It wasn't written for this. This get wasn't written for this particular one. But even this one, meaning the last case, which it was written for the gerushin of that particular shum gerushin ha, it really was retroactively considered written for this wife. Puzzle, it's still puzzle. Okay, so meaning in all the scenarios it's puzzle, but each one is a bigger chiddush than the other. Okay, my timer. So what's the reason? Eat cost of a nasan, say for creases biyada. If the Torah would have just said, write the get and give her a sefer creases, then I would have thought that it only is coming to exclude the first case, the loy of it l'shum creases. It wasn't even written l'shum creases; it was written for practice. But if he writes a get to divorce his wife and changes the mind, David l'shum creases, it was made in order to cut somebody off, in order to cut his wife off. Aim a kosher, I would say maybe it's kosher. So kosher, that's what I would have thought. So kosher, one of vik kosav, that the actual get needs to be written l'shma. E kosher rachman of vik kosav, and if it would just said and he writes, that will only come to exclude the case where he didn't write it for his wife. But in the case where he has 2 wives with the same names, he's writing the get. Meaning in case number 2, even his names match the other names, but the get was never written for his wife. But case number 3, the get was written for one of his wives. Ema kosher. Then I would say it's kosher. Come on, law. It says law lishma. Okay, the sefer lamali, and then what do I need the sefer for? Hakamash malan the ain breira. The sefer is telling us that there's no breira, right? There's no breira. Breira meaning breira means there's no choice.
How was your walk?
Right? Unmute. You're not muted.
Rachman, can you mute?
Unmute. You're not muted.
I'll mute him. I stepped away for a half a second. Right.
Anyway, so the Gemara is saying the last case is coming to tell us that there's no such thing as breira, which we'll get to tomorrow's Daf Yomi. Let's do a few more lines. So, so if he says, if he wrote a get to divorce his older one, he doesn't want to divorce. He can't use it to divorce the younger or smaller wife, meaning the same wife. So a different wife, same name. Good. So he can't use this get on the katana, but the gedola who he had originally written it for, he could use it for. If you have a city that has two Yosef and Shimons, they're allowed to take out a shtar choiv on others. This is also very lumdisha case. You have these two guys, right, that live in the same city. They both have the same name. Are they allowed to go bring a shtar to a guy and say, "Hey, you owe me money"? Or can the guy say, "Hey, I don't owe you the money. I owe the other Yosef and Shimon." Right? So that's allowed. So that's what we're saying from our Gemara is the same thing. They're comparing a Baal Chayv to the Isha. Meaning, can the Isha produce the get and say, "This is my get"? And the other one will say that the other one will say, "No, it's not. It's the other wife." Yeah. Yeah. So that's what should I tell you? The Yetzirah is I have my granddaughter who doesn't even look at me, but when I'm sitting here learning, now she wants me to read her a book. It's a pellet. She don't even look at me.
I could attest she hates you.
And what?
I could attest. I'm mad. She hates you. She will not look at him for nothing.
Right. And now she's sitting here and she wants me to read her a book. Why? Because I'm learning.
Then read her a book.
Yeah. What do you say, Ami?
She was a boy, Tiago. She wouldn't want
You're
you to
already
read
reading from a book. Just read her the daf.
It could be. That's true. It could be she's happy because I took her horse racing today. Could be. But
Did you win?
No. But the horse that was 2-to-1 odds won. So that wasn't. Yeah. But anyway. So, but what we're saying here is that Shnei Yosef and Shimon that are in this one city, right? So Matzi and Shtar Chayv Alacherim, they're allowed to take a Shtar Chayv. And the same thing with this get. This get would be okay from the, right? We're saying that the get would work for the Gedolah. Who says it's her get? Maybe it's the Katana's get. How do you know? You got the get with the same husband, same wife, same town, same everything. How can you trust it? So we're saying the same way Rava says. In Sanhedrin, they go on in Sanhedrin that if the two people the same name, you can go taina for people for money, even though you have no idea which guy is the one that's owed the money. It's the same thing here. So Abaya, Reisha, the Getani, Shmi Kishimcha, and the Reisha where it says my name is like your name, Pasal Lagarishbai. You can't use it, right? The second case, Sheni Hu Deloy Matzi Megarishbai. He can't divorce the second person. Harishan Matzi Megarishbai. The first one you can, but we said somebody else can't go ask these Yosef ben Shimon for money. Meaning, we said that the Yosef and Shimon, if they're lenders, they're allowed to go tying on somebody else for money. But you cannot go if you have a shtar against the Yosef ben Shimon, meaning they're the borrower, then you don't trust it. You hear the lumdus here? Two lenders in the city have the same name, they can go after a borrower. But you cannot go after these people with the same name if they're the borrower. That doesn't work. Right? And the reason for that is because the difference is because by the lender, we know that somebody lent money here. So we know there was a loan, just a matter of who the loan was given to. So it's not so common for the guy to say, "Oh, somebody else lent it to me." But when you're telling them that they owe money, you have no proof to that. You have no proof that they owe anybody money. So it doesn't work. So Elamayas Chalamemer, Be'edim Basira. So what are you going to say? We're talking about where it's Edim Basira, where we're going, and Rebbe Lazar, we're going again according to Rebbe Lazar. So Memela, that's why the get is a good get, even though the names may be the same names, but because we go with Rebbe Lazar, who holds that as long as the Edim there to hand over the get, so that's it. So Chanami Be'edim Basira. Here too, we're talking about where it was Edim Basira, Rebbe Lazar, and it's Rebbe Lazar who says that it's out. The main thing is Edim Basira. And Memela, that's why we're going to trust that this get is a kosher get. Yeah. Okay, that was a little bit confusing, but it's Erev Shabbos, so yeah. All right. The Olam should have themselves a fine Shabbos. What time do we call for? 9:45?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mazel tov, mazel tov, mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Yeah.
To you too. To you too. Yeah.